Hey guys, welcome back to Honey Money SG, and this is the next episode of Talking to Myself. And what am I going to talk about today? That is, your kids are not your retirement plan. Now this is quite a touchy topic because why do we even have kids, right? Let's backdate this into the ancient times of why people have kids. Now you see, in the ancient times, right, when people are all doing agricultural farming, they need to have more sons and daughters to help to plow the fields, right, in order to harvest more food. Because the more manpower you have, the more you can harvest, and the more food that you can sell it to the market for money, or you could just feed your own family and your descendants. So it's very important to have many kids, because in the past, right, when we are in a more agricultural society, we really need all this manpower to help us. But we have moved so much from the agricultural revolution, right? Now we are in such a society where tech and disruptive innovation is coming to take over our lives and our jobs. And this theory of having more children in order to live a fulfilling retirement life does not really matter much in the modern society. And let's bring this context closer to home, right? The Asian society, especially the Chinese Asian society, we talk about this thing called filial piety. Actually, this word is only used in the Asian context. In the Western context, you will never hear of this word. And what does it really mean? It means that your parents has brought you up and feed you all the while and sponsored all the resources for you to grow to a well-grown adult, to have your own economic powers, right? And that's why when you have the economic power, you have to give back to your parents because you owe them so much. So that's the concept of filial piety, is to give back to your parents whatever they have given you when you were young. So why do I say that your kids should not be your retirement plan? It's very simple. Your kid did not ask to be born, but you are the one responsible for your kid's birth. As simple as that, you see. When you chosen to have a kid, it's for your own reasons, right? Your own selfish reasons, that you want a kid to be with you when you are old, or to maybe take care of you when you are no longer that mobile. Your kid does not have a choice to be born. Can they say, no, I don't want to be born, papa, mama, and then suddenly have an abort mission and they will not appear in this world? No, it doesn't work. So before you think about having a kid, it's really your responsibility to make sure that you yourself can afford the kid and give him an environment for him to grow. And that is why, as a parent, you have the responsibility, and it's only your responsibility to make sure that the kid grow up in such an environment that he has the resources to grow up to be a well-developed adult. This means you have to sponsor their financial well-being, their emotional well-being, and whatever resources that they need. You have to pay for them, you have to take care of them with your caring love, and not expect anything in return, because your kid does not owe you anything. You have heard of this very popular term called sandwich generation, right? Where you have an elderly parent to take care of. At the same time, you also have your kids who are your descendants that you also have to take care of. And why is this called the sandwich generation? Because both of them needs your financial resources to keep them living. And this is really the result of selfish mindset, right? You see, your parents, they gave birth to you and then they expect something back, when it is their sole decision to give birth to you, you did not ask for it to be born. Some of you may disagree and click the dislike button right now, right? But I'm going to tell you this truth. You should never expect anything from your kid, even if you have sponsored him all the way from education, from development to enrichment classes. Your only responsibility as a parent is to raise them and embrace them, and accept that whatever your kid turns out to be, you just appreciate them from being what they are. You should not try to change them, shape them into your beliefs, and tell them that whatever they are doing is wrong, when they are already full-grown adults capable of making decisions and deciding what path to take in their lives. You see a lot of helicopter parenting right now, right? Where the parents have so many decisions to make, and they even want to make decisions for their full-grown adult kids. You see, in Singapore, we have this very weird mindset. Like, if you're a full-grown adult, but if you're still staying with your parents, you still have to listen to them and obey their rules because it's their house. I mean, that's fair, right? Because you're living under the same roof as them, and they are your seniors, and there ought to be some respect to them. But we must understand that in current society, your parents' thinking may be very different from your generation thinking, and then there may be clashes in the way that you all think and whatever you all do, right? Don't get me wrong here, there is nothing wrong if you have enough wealth to give your parents, especially in the form of parental allowance, but it should never be expected, right? I mean, you all follow this Asian context that when we go to work, we must give parental allowance, and if you don't give, it means you're something wrong, or you're just an ungrateful son or daughter to your parents. I think that's just fundamentally wrong in this society. Like, I get it, if you live under the same house with your parents, then it makes sense, right? Because instead of renting a room outside, you can save this money and then give them as parental allowance because they also cook for you and you all share the same facilities, the same resources, and the house maintenance fees. Yeah, then it makes sense to give them some parental allowance in the form of rent. But when you decided to move out, then I think it's a totally different matter. If you can afford it, then just give as parental allowance, because your parents may not make as much money as you, right? Because they may be less educated than you and they may be less skillful as you, whatever. Okay, and let's go back to the parenting, right? As a parent, it's your responsibility to bring the kid to this world and sponsoring them, and it's also your own responsibility to take care of your own retirement so as not to burden the kids. Why so? Now, I don't speak for everyone, but what I felt is that if my parents are able to take care of their own retirement and their own health insurance, that means taking care of their own health as well, which means having a balanced diet, having adequate sleep, and not have any harmful illnesses to their bodies, I think that's really good already. I will never ask them for any inheritance when they pass away. I just want them to be happy, to be healthy, and then take care of their own lives so that I don't need to worry for them when I'm not around with them anymore. I mean, when we stay apart in different houses lah. So really, the best gift as a parent to your kid, right, is not inheritance. It's just taking care of yourself. Don't burden your kids. Don't make them worry for you, because once you have all this sorted out, I'm very sure you and your kid will have a very healthy and great relationship, and you all won't quarrel about money, won't quarrel about health issues, won't quarrel about no sons or daughters taking care of you because you have health illnesses in the hospital. So yeah, really, as a parent, all you have to do, take care of yourself. Don't worry too much of your kids. They have their own problems to settle, their own financial decisions, their stress at work. Just take care of yourself will do, really. Don't worry about your child need more money to go and buy their BTO flat, do up the expensive renovation that feature them in CNA Insider, or even top up their CPF SA accounts or MA accounts, which I've seen some people in the 1M65 group do that. I mean, if you're wealthy and you want to give them a head start, yeah, you do you. I think that's great. But actually, you don't have to, because there's no benefit in doing that. Because if your child is capable enough, he does not need your resources. And if he is not capable, then why does he deserve your resources? Think about it. That means you can stash away your CPF, your property, but all that in between, that means your wealth, your stock market portfolio, your investments, I think you should just have the mindset that you don't need to pass this to your children because they already have enough. And sometimes giving your children too much resources may be a bad thing, because then they may go to a lawsuit to see who gets more resources. You don't want that, right? People fighting over your grave for your assets. So yeah, really think about it. This is a really unpopular opinion, but someone has to say this, right? Your kids are really not your retirement plan. They did not ask to be born, but you have every responsibility to them to make sure that they are well developed. Of course, this is just my own thinking and sharing. I don't ask you to subscribe to the same methodology, and I'm not here to force you or convince you that I am right. So you don't have to convince me in the comment section as well, telling me I'm wrong, because we all have different perspectives in life. But if you have a differing opinion and you want a constructive debate, right, then I welcome you in the comment section. I would love to hear what you all say as well. So the bottom line is, don't burden your kids. Take care of yourself. We are fine. We don't need your support. We don't need your inheritance. Really, as a kid to a parent, take care of yourself and we'll be fine. So tell me what you think, right, of this your kids are not your retirement plan topic. I'd love to hear your comments, whether am I right or am I wrong. So if you have found value, remember to give a like and subscribe at the bottom of the video. It just takes 1 second of your time. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.